Welcome back, scientists and engineers. It is great to see you again. Today we're going to be doing a couple awesome experiments because remember 2 weeks ago we built our Lego Eiffel Towers and last week was spring break. So I hope you had a great spring break with your family and I'm excited to be back with you again today. Now we're going to be doing a couple experiments using some cool projects that I have here at my house. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you about an experiment you can do at home with supplies that you already have. Okay? Now, I'm really excited for today's experiments because they're all about electricity. Okay? Now, before we go any further, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about something that you have at home that electricity can turn on. Okay? That can be your favorite night light. It can be your tablet. It could be your favorite toys that uses batteries. It can be anything you want, but I want you to close your eyes and think about something that you love that uses electricity. Okay, did you think of something cool? Okay, now I want to tell you and show you how electricity can turn on all the cool things in our house. Okay? Now, to make electricity, we need two important things. We need a positive charge, which is a plus symbol that looks like this, and a negative charge, which is the minus symbol that looks like this. Okay? Now, if you take any batteries, like the batteries that you have at home in your remote or maybe a flashlight, you'll see that there's the plus symbol on one side, and that has a little knob sticking out, and the minus symbol on the other side that's flat. Okay? Now, when we put our batteries into whatever device we want to turn on, it has those symbols right on here, so it tells you which end of the battery needs to go on which side. And it's really important you put the right end of the battery in the right side, okay? Because in order to turn something on, we need to make sure that our batteries have the negative and positive side connected with something called a circuit, okay? So on this circuit board that I have right here, this is the negative side of the battery, and this is the positive side of the battery, okay? And we're gonna see if we can use this switch right here to turn on this light bulb, okay, scientists? So right here we have some metal, okay? And it's really important that these are metal because metal can help us conduct electricity, okay? So I'm gonna try right now, and I'm gonna see when I flip my switch from off to on, if it will turn my light bulb on. Okay, let's see if it works. Did the light turn on? No, it didn't. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to see, can you show me on here where you see any gap in our circuit that's making it so the minus isn't touching the positive? Okay, so that you see that the minus is going this way and it's not touching the positive. Okay, you might notice that there's a gap right here and there's a gap right there. Okay, electricity needs to flow all the way from one end of the battery to the other, and that's called a current, just like the current that you would see in the river or an ocean with the water moving. Okay, so let's see what happens when I take our metal conductors and I put one on this side of our light bulb and I put one on this side of our light bulb. Okay, now you can see that the battery starts here, it goes all the way around through the switch. Right now the switch is in the off position, so it's not letting any electricity get from this end to this end and move down to our light. So let's see when I flip our switch if our light turns on now. Pretty cool, right? So this switch works exactly like your light switches at home. Okay, the electricity to turn on your lights at home is always there, ready to go, but the switch that you have tells the electricity to stop or to keep going and activate the light bulbs. Okay, now I'm going to change something here and I want to show you what we can do if we take out this switch, which is a lot like your light switch at home. It has an on-off. Let's see what happens if we take a switch that uses a button instead. So you might think of this switch as like something that you would see on a flashlight when you push the button on a flashlight and it turns the light on. So I'm going to get all my metal conductors back in place. Right now the switch is off because I'm not pushing it down. So that's why the electricity isn't flowing to the light. Let's see what happens when I push it down. It turns the light on. Pretty cool, right? And as long as I hold that switch down, it's going to let the electricity flow through to the light. And remember, if I took this one off, it won't work, even though I'm pushing it down, because the battery needs to be connected all the way from one end to the next. And I put it back on, and now it can light up again, okay? Now this electricity can do more than just light up a light. Do you want to see what else it can do? It can also activate a small motor, okay, scientists? So I'm gonna make sure that all of my conductors are back in place, and I'm gonna put this cool fan blade on top of a motor. All right, scientists? And now watch what happens when I push down the switch. That fan is going fast, huh? These two small batteries can make a lot of power and a lot of electricity when we build it properly. Okay, scientists? So thank you for checking out that circuit board with me. This kind of lets you see what it would look like inside your house with wires running and switches that help turn the electricity on and off. Okay? Now, I want to show you something else that can help conduct electricity, because remember, with our circuit board, we were using metal. These pieces are metal to conduct electricity, but believe it or not, we can also use Play-Doh to conduct electricity, okay? Now, this right here has some batteries in it, and you'll see it has a plus side and a minus side, just like our circuit board and the batteries that you have at home, okay? Now, I can turn it on, okay, and you can see the light turns on, but this wand right here can actually help us play music when we have electrical current running, okay, scientists? So what I'm gonna do is I have this cool mini fire truck here. I have this cool shamrock, and we're gonna see if we can use these to actually play music. Check this out, scientists. I'm gonna put my fire truck on one end, and I'm gonna put my shamrock on the other end. Now, if I touch my wand to the fire truck, nothing happens. If I touch my wand to the shamrock, nothing happens. What we need to do is we need to put our plus and minus side touching the Play-Doh, because Play-Doh can actually conduct electricity, scientists. We can get electricity flowing through this Play-Doh. Now, as long as this big Play-Doh is connected to the fire truck and the shamrock, a lot like our metal conductors were connecting all the pieces together, I can put this right into here and listen closely. How cool is that? This has electricity running through it because it's a closed circuit. We have the plus side and the negative side are both touching each other, and we can take our wand and we can turn any of this Play-Doh into music. This wand kind of finds the electrical current that's running in the Play-Doh. I can also change the sounds. That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Does that sound like music you might want to play for an alien or something if they came down to Earth? And you'll notice that each one makes a slightly different sound, because the bigger the object, the more electricity it holds, and it makes it play a different note of music. Kind of like how on Gene's guitar, the bigger strings that he plucks will sound different than the smaller strings that he plucks. And remember that this only works if everything is connected. So if I took out this middle piece and I had it like this, it's not going to play any music, scientists. Everything has to be touching, and the electricity has to be flowing in a current in order for it to work. Pretty awesome, huh? Now, I want to show you one more thing that we can do with our electric Play-Doh, okay? We can also use it to activate a motor, kind of like how we did with our circuit board. Now, I made a little elephant, which is my wife's favorite animal. I know a lot of you love elephants. and a teddy bear. I know a lot of you love teddy bears. And we're going to see if we can use Play-Doh to drive the elephant and the teddy bear across the table. Now, I have a joystick right here, scientists. Whoops. I have a joystick right here, and I can turn the joystick on. Let me get my elephant back on there and my teddy bear back on there. There we go. Now I can turn my joystick on, and I can press it down with my finger, but as you can see, nothing is happening with the motor when I do that. That's because this joystick needs an electrical current, okay? And our bodies have some electricity in them. I'm going to show you in a second what that means. But this one needs Play-Doh to help conduct the electricity from my finger onto the joystick, and then it travels through this wire and it activates the motor. Are you ready to try it with me? So I'm going to take this Play-Doh ball right here, and I'm going to see if when I put it on the joystick, it won't make it go. But once I add my finger to it, and then we can take the Play-Doh, put it on the other side. Remember, just the Play-Doh won't activate it. It needs the electricity in my finger to go through the Play-Doh onto the joystick. Ready? I'm going to see if I can drive him right towards you. How cool is that, scientists? Play-Doh is also a conductor of electricity. Now, do you want me to show you how I know we have electricity flowing through my body, scientists? And if I have electricity flowing through my body, that means you have electricity flowing through your body, okay? This right here is called an energy stick, okay? It has some lights inside that can be activated, but only with electricity. Okay, scientists? Now, even if I took a battery and I put it next to this energy stick, nothing happens, okay? What it needs is it needs the little bits of electricity that are on our fingers, okay? And if I hold one end, nothing happens. But once I hold the other end, our energy stick lights up. Because when I'm holding both ends of it, what I'm doing is I'm creating a closed circuit. So this is like the battery, and think of this as the plus side, and think of this as the negative side. If we hold one side but not the other, then the electricity isn't flowing all the way around in a circle. We need the whole circle to be complete, and then we can activate our lights, scientists. Okay? Now, if you get this at home, it's called an energy stick. Your parents can get it if they want. You can actually do this with your mom, your dad, your brother, and your sisters. Okay? You can all stand in a circle, and as long as everybody's holding hands so that the electricity can flow through each person, you can have different people holding each ends of the stick, and it will activate the lights. That's pretty cool, isn't it, scientists? Okay? Now, our bodies have electricity on our skin, which is why we're able to activate our energy stick just by holding it with our fingers. Okay? And if you've ever walked on a carpet with socks on and you've rubbed your socks on the carpet really, really hard, and then you've gone and touched something metal like a doorknob, you might have felt a little spark before. Raise your hand if you've ever felt that before. It might hurt just a little bit, but it's kind of more surprising than it hurts, okay? And that is called static electricity. When you are rubbing your feet on the ground and you're wearing socks, what you're doing is you're activating the electricity that's around your skin, and then when it touches something metal, remember metal can conduct electricity, so when you touch something metal, that it brings out the electricity from your skin all in one really quick snap like that, okay? Also, if you've ever been down the slide at a park and then you went and you touched a friend or you touched something metal, you might have felt that little spark before too. And it's okay, it's not gonna hurt you. No matter how much you rub your feet, it will never seriously hurt you. Okay, scientists, we don't have that much electricity in our skin. Now, I wanna tell you about an experiment that you can do at home to test this static electricity. Okay, scientists? What you wanna do is you wanna get some salt, some pepper, and a plastic spoon or a plastic comb, okay? And you're gonna take a bowl and you're gonna put the salt and the pepper together in the bowl. And then you're gonna take your plastic spoon or your plastic comb, okay, or anything else that's plastic, and I want you to rub it on your head, rub it on your hair back and forth as hard as you can, okay? And when you do that, it's creating friction. Remember, we've talked about friction before, the same friction that we get when we rub our feet on the ground with socks on, or the same friction if you rub your hands together for 5 seconds. Ready? Do it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you touch your cheeks and your hands feel kind of warm. That friction that's creating energy, creating heat, can also help us create electricity. So take that spoon, take that comb, rub it against your hair, and then I want you to quickly take it from your hair, and I want you to hold it just a little bit over the salt and pepper, okay? And you're gonna notice that one of them, either the salt or the pepper, will actually come up and stick to your comb or your plastic spoon, okay? Because that electricity, it can attract really, really light objects that don't weigh a lot. And before you do it, I want you to make a prediction. Remember, a hypothesis. When a scientist makes a guess, and it's okay if it's wrong because you don't know until you do the experiment. Do you think salt or pepper is heavier? They look really similar, but one of them is heavier than the other, and it's hard to tell until you do this experiment, okay? So remember, take your spoon or your comb, rub it against your hair. You can also rub it against a dish towel too, and then wave it over the salt or the pepper, and one of them will magically float up and stick to the spoon because of the power of static electricity. Now, I was going to show you how to do that experiment, but I want you to figure out for yourself which one is lighter, okay? Whichever one is lighter, which means it's easier to lift off the ground, is the one that will stick to the spoon, okay? And you can even trick your parents or your brother or your sister doing this experiment and tell them that you can make things move without touching them, okay? That's how we can help use electricity and science to almost make it look like a magic trick. All right, scientists, thank you so much for doing these experiments with me today. Next week, please let me know what you found out in your experiment, and if your hypothesis or your guess was right. We will build another awesome Lego project together next week. All right, scientists, have a great day.